always a shame. This is mostly transparent right here. We have a good angle on that? Okay, good. I always have to make sure these guys in my paintings hit their mark. Oh, so we'll put that aside. Let's go back to Gwen right here. There's much more to show you, but boy, this stuff takes a long time to. Come on, Desiree, do your thing. So this is how I'm working it so far. She's got this really cool swimsuit on right here. I'm trying to put my telltale fingerprint in here, and so far I haven't done it, but I'm looking forward to it so I can really screw this up. So let's. Oh, this is kind of neat. I've got these really stiff brushes right here, so I can clean up things. This is the only way that I can think of, besides the paint of a frisket or whatever, to keep things, keep the white space in watercolor. Hopefully that hand is going to work right there. I want to show you what I call these carving strokes right here. This is one of the things that you, that's for me. I think that's the president calling right there. Oh, I didn't vote for him, so never mind. Okay. We have a whole bunch of assistants around the Duda boat here that are always willing to help for less than minimum wage, which I'm all for. Let's get into the stuff right now. Where do I want to start here? Do I want to start? Where do I want to start? Let's do the body, okay? Right there, and we're going to start. We're going to go really light right now, okay? So that means a lot of water in this paint. I don't know how many people have this thing right here, but I always have this thing ready to go. This is also a matter of going around things too. That was Flowhard sneezing. We make it a habit around the Roadhouse to have plenty of Kleenexes around here. Now, if I'm smart, I'm going to go around the bottom piece here of her swim. And if I'm not smart, I don't know, I'll have to deal with it somehow. I think the paper's damp, barely. So basically I'm working into a dry surface right here. And then am somehow able to make this stuff blend okay. The more wet the paint is, the easier. Where was I? What century was I just in here? The easier it is to get soft. So, you know, all you horn dogs out there are expecting a really low-cut swimsuit. Well, you can keep hoping. How does this go right here? Yeah, okay. So, we got our big fat 1-inch brush because we are men. And how does this work right here? Okay, I may have to do some surgery coming up here. Folks, there's every time you pick up a brush or a pencil, you're going to make mistakes. The air is human, and last time I checked, that's me. So what we've got so far is a nice even wash, okay? And the reason I can do that is because one, the paper's really good, and two, I'm using a lot of water for this thing right here. So if there's any areas that are going to dry funny, we're going to try to, I don't know what we're going to try to do. Here's the wiping thing right here. I know you guys have been looking forward to the wiping thing. I'm personally very big on wiping. In fact, I have a whole crew of wipers exactly when I need them. So let's, you know, she's, see, you dummies today, you don't know what it's like to have tan lines in girls. All you have is these freaking tattoos that are just disgusting. I grew up in a time when tan lines were the foxiest thing around. Something we no longer have, which to the great detriment of the male population. So to get that light area, I'm going to do my wiping right here. Wipers. Now, another thing I'm trying to avoid right here is the dreaded backwash syndrome. Nobody wants backwashes. That's when you have a bunch of water flooding in. Blooms or backwashes. Okay, so far it's tolerable here. You know, I suspect we have from all parts of the world. You guys from Italy, I'm waiting for you to get on your cells here and give us a call at Rude Central. Again, the 1-inch brush. If you want to belong to the 1-inch brush club, you need only have a 1-inch brush. Remember, you have actually a lot more control over these things than people than you think you might. And if you don't have that kind of control, we're working on it. Okay, Gwen's face right here. Okay, this is gonna. Then I think I'm gonna go down to a much punier 3/4 inch brush right here, and I'm gonna do the same thing that I just did with the body. I'm gonna test my stuff on the paper right here. Make sure it's not too this, it's not too that. It's a lot like Baby Bear's bed. You can see I put some landmark things in a darker color right here, so I would know where they are. I kind of wanted to lock down the drawing, and that's one of the ways you do it right here. Do we dare go in here with? Yes, we dare. We're going to have a daring contest after we do the staring contest. That's going to be coming up in a half hour or so. So can we actually pull this off right here? We have a comment. It must be somebody from Italy or Tasmania.
Somebody named Hope says, "Hi, Master. Did you get to meet Alex Tubb?"
Yeah, I did. What's his full name? That's calling in.
Pope to Turkey.
Oh. As in the guy that hangs out at the Vatican? It could well be. You know, what do I know? I'll say, okay, so what we want to do right here to avoid the hard edge, we do what is called a pickup. That means we simply pick up the paint to get a softer edge. Now, there's a little bit of a thing down there catching her. It's nice to be called a master, but believe me, we are all students. We are all students. Time for the Chinese brush. I think you guys know my fondness for blondes. If we were to turn the camera around, we would definitely see evidence of that. I call her Mr. Producer, but in fact, she is a female. Don't we need more female producers, don't we? Yeah, we do. Okay, guys, so I kind of blended that out again to get a more uniform And it's just crazy. I use the lightest tones right here, and look how dark it turned out. You know what I mean? You guys following me on this stuff right here? This looks okay, but this, yeah, I know watercolor dries lighter, but that's not the point. The point is I use the lightest washes, and look how dark it is right there. Now I'm not going to go into that right now. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. The infamous Chinese brush is now coming into play right here. I know you guys were really waiting for this moment right here.
Yeah, we got
Netherlands. I was in the Netherlands. My friend Guido is from the Netherlands.
says hello from the Netherlands, Steve. Thanks for your stream and advice on watercolor.
Good. I think we can all use it, especially myself. So, see that Chinese brush? You can do anything with this thing. You can get fat or you can get thin. Yes, it takes some practice. Don't think you can just come up here and wind up and there's the pitch. No, I'm sorry. And there's the littlest thing going out there. This is going to be another wiping moment. So I don't see my wipers, so I'm going to have to do this myself. The paint's going to spread out a little bit. And if it's too dark, we squish it. The Netherlands, isn't that crazy, the day and age we live in? I'm kind of anti-cell phone. I just heard a great comment from a friend of mine. Everyone's been giving cell phones, but nobody uses it as a phone. Let's see. Now, Gwen's got her telltale, I call it a Joan Collins. What do they call these? A headband? A hatband? What is it?
Yeah, it's just a headband.
A headband. So what it means is you've got something that resembles a band on your head. Okay, so I think that's where the word came from. Now here's the really tricky part right here. We've got some really light stuff going on here. Remember, this stuff is backlit right here, okay? So it has to be very, very backlightable. As the paint, or as the hair gets, closer to the highlights, it's gonna be lighter in color.
Someone else just wrote in and said, I never get tired of seeing rude the dudes work.
That's a good thing, because watching paint dry is most people's not in their top 5 list. So there's the basic color right there. I'm gonna put a few more color shifts in here. We're gonna go from kind of a neutral up here to something. I see a little bead of water down there. Let's just do something with it. Here's the wiping coming up. Now I know you guys are really starting to get into this wiping stuff, and that's how I do it. If you can't afford personal wipers, then you're going to have to learn how to do it the way I'm doing it here, which is really hard. Now you see how full my little piece of paper is getting right here. I want to
Someone said the mic's crackling when you move your arm high.
isn't that like a doctor joke? Doctor, this hurts when I raise my arm. Well, that figures. I hate technology, even though it's bringing you to us and us to you. I think most people know that I'm just not a tech kind of a guy. I really can't stand these things. I'll take the Stone Age anytime, right? So, there we go. Super, super light. This wash is so light it should be invisible. And this is where her hair is coming into the light. See that? Of course you guys do. And this area right here is, let's do some wiping right here. This is a blending thing right here. Now this area right here, it needs to match up. You can see that pink going on there. Yeah, That's what happens sometimes. Don't kill yourself over it. Help is on the way in the form of a Steve Rude video. So when I screw up, you guys screw up too, okay? Just to keep things on an even playing field here. You guys know how light works, right? If you don't, and that's most of you out there, you have to learn how it works. I swear to God, I spent 35 years trying to learn how light works. I knew the rules, I read the books. That's different. It's a whole different thing to know it in here than just relying on reading something.
Someone says, as useful as tech gets, it never ceases to get on my nerves when something goes wrong. No matter how much it gets updated, it never works when you need it.
Now there's a man dear to my heart because he agrees with me. The bloody bastards. We're going to get a little darker up here. Well, if it's going to be Gwen, you got to have these telltale things right here, right? Otherwise, it's just not her. Well, this is going to be kind of cool right here. We're going to. Please like.
Yeah,
We all want to be liked. What does he want?
please give this video a like.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. Okay, so this is getting a little dark right here. So let's just do some wiping. You can use any brush for the wiping part of it. Another member of the Rude family has just decided to join us right here. You know, where's our palette is getting kind of full right here, as well as this thing right here. Can I do that? Sure I can. Most of you guys look at these Chinese brushes as it's like the last thing you want to screw around with, but in fact, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of, just everything. Here's another wiping thing going on here. My water's getting dirty.
That guy that hates tech just liked and shared and tweeted and Facebooked this video.
Good. So all you guys that hate modern tech, thumbs up, okay? We need to form a guild here. Let's fill in some of these things down here now that we know that it seems like the time to do it. See, people, it's just a simple thing that takes 40 freaking years to learn. See, it's just not a big deal. Time to change the paper. Don't be stingy. I have billions of things like this hanging around for just such an emergency. Okay, all right, here we go. How's this work right here? How's that? I always have one of these sheets next to me here. I feel abandoned without one of these sheets.
Question, do you prefer Kirby or Lucina?
Are you kidding? We have a bunch of comic book fans writing in here. You've got to be putting me on. Isn't that like asking who's stronger, the Hulk or, you know, the Thing? All right, it's time for some more crackle on the microphone here as we empty our water, our dirty water. You can see this water is nothing that you want to drink right here, okay? It's not fit for man nor beast. You got that, Mr. Producer?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Okay, so we're going to come over here to the dude's sink. This is a specially formulated sink that has my name on it. I actually sell these sinks under my own name, which is really a good thing. I make a huge 5% profit off every one sold. This is actually a converted game room, in case you didn't know that. That's why the sink is here, and that's why there's no kids' toys in here anymore. I took one look at this area right here, and I said, okay, let's move in. And we've been here, how long, Mr. Producer? About 20 years? 7 years? Boy, time flies. Okay. Um, what else is going on here? How else can we mess this up here? Okay, everything in the dark is going to have a little bit of a shadow, no matter how, um, even the teeth. Okay. Now there's a lot of things here that I'm looking at, and I actually have no idea how I'm going to solve them. But that's just a day in the life of an artist. You guys know that. You're all artists. You know what I'm talking about. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, that's a copyrighted song. I don't know if I can use that. Are we still cracked in here with the microphone? Only you can tell me. This is soaking wet right now, so we're not going to use it. But we are going to reach around here to my my box of rags. Okay. See, the main man here is as prepared as Foghorn Leghorn is with his feathers. You want to be prepared too for just such an emergency. I want to know if we have any other people coming in from, let's see, randomly, I would say Madagascar, the Philippines, Iceland, North or South Poles. I want to hear from you guys because, and no comic book questions. Come on, you guys. We're better than them. Okay, so let's paint the arm in here, okay? I'm kind of going by feel.
Yeah, they said the audio's good.
The audio's good? Good. That's good. I'm not sure how the lighting works right here with this hand, so let's just go like this right here.
Mr. Yeager says hi, all the mic's working good now.
Oh, good. Mark Yeager. Mark Yeager is a individual with a multitude of talents. He teaches little kids, I think, in high school, and he also works for a dude doing some really good designs for us. He is the kind of guy that I like working for us because he's super gung-ho. Like to do it himself. Nothing stops him, and nothing ever will. I don't know where we'd be without him. I'm doing the old squinting thing right here. I simply don't have enough wrinkles on my face, so I'm trying to work on that. Want to see some wiping going on here? It's been a while since I've wiped. Yes, some people actually use toilet paper for this stuff right here. Is that a worthless animal down there? Probably a dick. The heck with dicks. Okay, so we're going to get this is our wiping brush. I call it a wiping brush because it's got stiff bristles on it, so it'll tend to pick up stuff easier than a non-stiff brush. Oh, this is great. You got to get yourself one of these right here. This is the ultimate sprayer. I got this in Solvang, California, and
It's an aromatherapy sprayer.
I was just going to say that. And this thing has got the finest mist I've ever seen. So you either had a choice of this or this. There's simply no contest. So if I want to go in here and mist some of this up a little bit, I can do that.
Yeah, someone says one of my favorites Stevie works was the one in Monster.
Oh. Blonde. See, we have a lot of blonde followers out there. Yvonne Stravinsky. Yeah. Is one of my. She's just a doll. I think she could actually play Sunny Honey in the Nexus movie. What do you guys think about that? Oh, let's get the hair thing in there. See, I'm not a girl, so I don't know what these things are called.
They said, will you be sharing the finished piece on your social media?
You better believe I will. And that's part of the fun.
My Christmas is for sale, so I'm going to get someone to produce for me.
Yeah. I actually found out how these things work. I had a girl show me. Might have been Gino, but I'm not sure. Gino's the girl I married. So we're going to wipe here to make sure I'm getting just the right consistency of color and water. And we're doing a little blending going on there. It's simply too much fun to be an artist. Anyone who's not an artist, I kind of feel bad for them. What do we have? The entire root about in here? The root brood, as Alex Ross calls them. But super little keyed is not here. And that's a serious infraction.
And Mr. Yeager says, thanks for the nice words. It's a pleasure and adventure.
I agree. Now this eye stuff right here, if you listen carefully, we have a secret conference going on behind the camera right here. So, can I actually rest my hand in here? Yes, we can. Can you say that? Of course, she's a blonde. You know, I had the hardest time figuring these eyes out right here. Anyone who thinks this, you just whack this stuff off is severely mistaken. And this look in her face, this is the hardest thing I have a hard time with. She's got to look alive. And to do that, you need actually perfect draftsmanship, which I think I had better at 25 than 64. But life does go on. Oh, we got a little bleeding going on there, which is just too bad. And to fix that, we wipe it. This is another way of wiping right here. There are many ways to wipe. These are two of them right here. I hope you guys were taking notes. And yeah, I'm kind of basing this on this girl's face right here. So let's see. Let's grab the Chinese brush right here, and let's go in here with a little darker tone right here. Now this is usually where I screw up a lot. I make the paint too dark, and I don't need to do that here. This face right here, that's kind of what I'm going with right here. See if I can actually figure out what's going on here. Oh, that's right. Okay, so watch the density, folks. If it gets too dark, I think we're going to jail. Now I'm going to wipe this right here because just in case, it's going to be, you can always make it darker, okay? Is there a guy alive that doesn't prefer blondes? Gentlemen do. So we're slowly darkening. This paper, by the way, is dry. So all the paint that's going on here right now is wet paint on a dry surface. So it won't run, okay? Oh, you know what? I want to bring this nose in a little smaller there. I'm still waiting for people from the North Pole to call in. Let's see. I gotta. You know, when you're living in a desert, and it's always sunny and hot, you gotta ask yourself what month it is. So it's coming up on Halloween. That means it's coming up on Halloween. Let's get another stiff size brush right here. These come in different sizes, like all brushes. There, I just kind of soaked it up right there. Back to the Chinese brush. You know, this stuff on her face is so subtle, but we endeavor to make it work. The lighting on this face, puny as it is, I'm lucky I don't need bifocals here, is is different than the one up here. It's significantly different. Wiping to get the paint to blend. You can always go darker, guys. Remember that, okay? By the way, it's actually 1:30 Arizona time. I know in the North Pole it's probably a lot different, and same with Tasmania. But I want you to know you're all invited over for lunch and beer. We're going to be having a barbecue coming up in a couple hours here. I don't know if it's going to be after this demo or before. So we'll have to give you an alert on that so you can make it in time.
All right, we have a question here.
Whoa, question, okay.
All right, let's see, Farbin asks, what brand of watercolors are you using? What makes you prefer watercolors to gouache
Oh.
or another?
Well, I don't actually prefer I always look at these mediums as kind of a playground for artists. You have basically like 5 or 6 mediums that you can play around with. A lot of people never use them, and I don't understand that. I remember when I got into the business, I wanted to absolutely paint my covers because I had Illustrator goals, which is to be much more than just a line art kind of a guy. That was never going to make me happy. So a little bit of mascara going on there. Let's see, what color do we want to use right here for the? There's a really interesting nose thing going on here. You know these nose things. I tell you, they're just. I don't see how you can get more exciting than those things. Oh, that's those things. Sorry. I'm trying to get this stuff to blend, but not to the point of insanity here. I am not a photorealist. I can't imagine anything more dull than being chained to a photorealist kind of an outlook in life. I mean, if it doesn't look photorealistic, you failed, right? So, oh, that little part is bugging me down there. It's not going into the paint. Well, we'll just do our best and hope for an act of God here. Let's see. And I'm going to get it here cheek color right here, and it's going to be very red, but it's not going to be overtly red. So see, I wiped off my brush, and I can blend it right there. I think everyone who uses watercolors knows this right here. So for those of you that know watercolors, just skip this part. Having a perfect recollection of all facial planes and everything else is rather important. So that's the rest of your life, guys.
We have a comment from Johnny B that says...
Johnny B? Johnny B good?
Johnny B.
Oh, okay. Well, you ought to change that to a B, Johnny.
Alright, I need to color my art. I just don't want to be limited as an artist like you said, Steve.
Yeah. And the question is, well, what is the question, Otis?
No, just one.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Nobody wants to be chained down to a particular thing. And a lot of guys are. Some of these guys in comics, they just want to do line art, black and white line art their whole lives. Now, Gwen's getting a little dark here, so I want to be very careful about that. I'm using a mixture of the tiniest mixture of ultramarine blue and this basic red. And hopefully that'll give me just what I need right here. How does that work right there? So it's okay. Sound effects free of charge. Still waiting for comments from the Netherlands, but I suppose everything in good time, right? Now we're really going to heat things up down here with some really strong paint. Now, from what I can see from this reference right here, she's getting really warm down here. That's obviously reflected light coming in from the neck right here. I know you guys know all about reflected light, so I don't have to go into a 4-page explanation of why that is. I know you guys are really smart, so why bother, right? Yeah, so you see that, guys? That's the way it's looking so far. It's getting a little dark, something I'm trying to watch out for. It's time for a break. I'm kind of a root beer guy myself, so we'll look into that in un momento here. This girl has got a lot of mascara on in the reference here. Do I want to do that with Gwen? Lovely Gwen, meter maid. Well, we'll see. I'm not sure about that. So let's do a little wiping here, okay? Another trick that I use when I'm doing this stuff is I kind of look peripherally when I'm putting something on. Like I'm looking at the whole face as I apply something in a particular area. So I keep things in perspective. Nothing to this or nothing to that. You got to get it just like Baby Bear's bed. Okay, let's do the mouth. I tell you, they're really great artists out there. What do the great artists out there do? Well, they do something, I'm thinking. Oh, this is weird because she's got some light bouncing into her upper lip. So that means it has to be done with the utmost of care. I was talking about what really great artists do. They merge things. They keep things. They don't think about things in terms of tiny little things. They think of things in terms of the big picture, the big statement. Like, and this is really hard to learn, so don't feel bad if you can't get it right in the first 5 minutes. You think of the head as an egg, okay? Is there somebody snoring over there? Oh, that's Shabbity Shab, okay. For a second, I thought we had an intruder here. Blowhards, they do snore. Okay, so we got this reflected light thing coming in here. I tell you, this lighting stuff, it's not for the weak of heart, is it? Anyone of weak of heart out there, don't even think about becoming an artist. Unless you really, really want to be weak of heart. Let's tilt this thing right here because we're always doing things the smart way, not the dumb way. So there's our Gwen face so far. This is the, see how dark this paint gets right away? And you see how it's bending right there? Hey, you know what? I'm going to do something really outrageous here, okay? First of all, we're going to cap the watercolors. And then, because we're really smart, we're going to take this and tape it to a board. God, I'm smart. So let's come around here, find this is the right size board. Oh, that is heavy. And that is too big. Out of the way. What are we going to use here for this? Well, I suppose we're stuck using this damn thing right here. Look at this mess. Someone's got to clean this up when I get that. Okay, so this is looking good right here. My tape is actually right over here. Aha! For those of you artists out there who do not have one of these back roller things, I strongly advise it. You can get them from Rude Dude Productions at $19.99. So far, I've spared myself a lot of embarrassment here, and I've done a passable job. There's something going on with those eyes that I've got to fix. And if I'm lucky, I'll find a way to do it. So here's our tape. This is just your basic tape that doesn't want to work. And here's the hard part. You have to tape it. Somebody stopped snoring over there. No, this is the reason this is the hard part is because it's not going to want to do this. You actually want to do this before you start painting. But I'm Steve. I'm Steve. You're not a genius.
Matt Farley, and just wanted to thank you for recommending Hal Foster's Prince of Valiant for studying color in a tribute video.
Yeah, good.
It's
Good.
a gold mine. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers must mean he's from the United Kingdom. Whenever I write guys overseas, I always say cheers, okay?
Alright, and a question from
Question.
again.
From who?
Johnny D from Maryland.
Johnny B. Good? Johnny D. Good, okay.
Yeah. Steve, what would be the best paper suited for painting?
Boy, this guy definitely didn't tune in when we were starting here. Well, first of all, Johnny D. Be good. What do you want to? What kind of medium are you using? For oil, it's either board, canvas board, which is they make it really good nowadays, not the junk they used to make. That's all the stuff that Frazetta use for shame, right? And then canvas. For this kind of stuff, for watercolor, get a good watercolor paper. There's only two that I prefer right here. There's three different kinds. There's Strathmore, there's Arches, and there's Fabriano. I'm working on Arches right here, but I more often than not am using Fabriano because I like the sound of it. It's like one of those French names.
Someone says Mr. Root is really smart.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Send that guy a check, okay?
Someone else says love seeing inside your art studio.
This is inside the art studio act. You know, so there's an inside the actor's studio. What the hell with those guys? Artists are people too, and I insist that we are just as smart as them. Oh, I got some funny things right here, guys. You got to check this out, okay? Let's turn this around. Mr. Producer, can you read that right there? This right here. Geez, you taking the Lord's name in vain right here? Okay. Actually, we do that all the time around here, mostly me. Here, let me hold it up, okay? Let's make it easier for Mr. Producer. How's that?
Okay, I got it.
Love these little slogans. Don't they kind of sum up life?
So we have your Gwen Stacy up for sale. It's on the homepage of your website.
Gwen Stacy, I've just been informed by Mr. Producer that Gwen Stacy is up for sale before it's even done. Here's another one right here. I kind of like this. Oh, I just heard the S word. That's going to be edited out when it gets. Is the mic working? Are we still getting crackle and static?
It listens to me.
How's that? Can you see this right here, guys? Can I set it down now?
Yes.
Good, I'm getting tired. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I had to paint a billboard in the middle of the Wisconsin winter? Do I really have to tell you what winter's like in Wisconsin? No, I don't. Thank God I don't have to tell you all about that. So this is called corrective corrective something. It's called being corrective, okay? So I took something that wasn't working. I stopped everything and corrective measures. That's the word right there. Oh, do we want to take a break? 30 minutes? Holy spit. We were supposed to be doing a 2-hour thing. Man, does time fly when paint's drying. We have these blowhard cups for sale. This order through the online store. Let me show you guys some stuff right here before, so I can waste some more time. I really want to show you this right here. Now, Mr. Producer is going to have to get in here really tight. You see this right here? Let's just set it down and be smart about it. So I'm not going to wobble it like everyone else in YouTube does.
Someone says, can you do tutorials on how to draw females, loose sketches, and stuff?
Oh, you guys don't need me for drawing females. Just grab the Ando Loomis books and you'll be set for life.
And then thank you for the suggestion, Steve. I just added those mediums to my Amazon art list. I usually prefer pencil and pen, but I want to try painting again. I was pretty bad at it, so I stopped a while back.
Yeah. Well, one thing when you tune into a dude video, the word you're always going to hear is what are you going to hear? You're going to hear be brave, forge ahead, and never be intimidated by anything in life, because you've only got this one shot at life. Now, I know you young guys don't even think like that. And I didn't either when I was young, but I do now, because I'm a little older. Yeah, we're all 25 in our minds, but not so in our bodies. Flowhard is coming over here. I think she heard the secret word of a milk bone. Here, Flowhard. Yeah, look at the Flowhard. You gonna stick your muzzle in there, Flowhard? You want?
Says, can you recommend any good resources for getting better at painting people? Books or maybe artists to look at?
Yeah, there's the best art books I've ever seen are these right here. This is the famous artist books, which I was able to copy online. This is a sample of this guy's work right here, John Whitcomb. There was 12 guys in the faculty, including Norman Rockwell, and these guys were the best at the time, which is basically late 40s and through the 50s and into the 60s actually, and then the Andrew Loomis books, which are up here on the shelf. Let me point them out for the visually impaired. All these books right here are the Loomis books. Isn't that great? So everything you ever need to know about painting or art, that's I call it the Bible of illustration right here. So this is a practice sheet. You can see all the things I've done here. This is where I do my practicing. I need to work things out, and you can see the different things I've been screwing around with here. This is from a Zorn or a Soroya? I don't remember. It's definitely not a Sargent though. And this is a combination of transparent and opaque watercolor. Some of the opaque touches are like right down here, and they make it look great. They really make it stand out, and they give it that snap. Same thing right here. This is definitely a Soroya. So this must have been all Soroya stuff right here, except for this one. So write in paint like that. Here's my notes to myself. See that, guys? Always writing notes, because as soon as I get done painting this stuff, I'm going to forget how I did it. We don't want that to happen. More stuff. Now, the big moment you've been waiting for here, that nobody was expecting. John Gannam originals right here. Now, you saw the copy that I did of John Gannam over there. These were actually given to me by the family. That's how cool I am. And did you hear that? John Gannam was a guy that did everything that great artists should do. He painted from everything around him to get a feel of light in all its different conditions. It's hundreds of different variations. And this is what he would turn out all the time. This is in his house, I'm sure. This is opaque watercolor. And he would do these things endlessly. He also developed something that was really fascinating. He developed a good memory. Now, the way to do that is to look at something, close your eyes. How much do you remember? Well, there's some things I didn't quite get. Okay, open them up again, look at it, see what you missed out on, close them again. The back of this chair I'm looking at right there. So do I see it? Do I see it? That a little bit vague. Okay, now I think I have it right there. That's what this guy did.
John Gannam is my favorite watercolor artist.
Oh, we got some pretty smart guys out there, but
I said a lot of people don't know about him, unfortunately.
well, that's why I like to do these vids, because we get called upon by some very smart people. One of whom, besides myself, knows about John Gannam. So that's a good thing. Never underestimate the intellect of a rude dude fan. You can see that this is all heavy white paint right here. These little highlights, these flicks of highlight, that's all opaque paint right there. This stuff in the corner right here is very washy. But the thing you need to notice about this is how real it looks. It's messy. It's really messy, but everything is there. Now, isn't that amazing? Yes, it is. Let me show you another one here that's really messy right here. It's actually, it looks like a slob did it right there when drunk. And you got to see this one right here. This is what it looks like in black and white. And John Gannam was a master of light like no one I've ever seen before. And that's what I want to be, a master of light. Oh, for the love of God. All this tape nonsense. Who's got time for it? Okay, so you ready? This is really sloppy, but if you can see it from a distance, it looks absolutely real. I call it the two boatmen in a boat with yellow slickers on them. Now look at how sloppy that is, see? It's just paint thrown everywhere. But the impression of reality is dead on. See, squint your eyes a little bit like I'm doing. Work on your crow's feet. And this is how really great artists understand their craft right here. They understand the big picture of light, of objects in an environment, okay? So that's a big deal. These are the guys I study all the time. Isn't that cool? Yes, it is. So let's go on to another one right here. This is a little tighter, but the effect is the same. Here's the black and white version right here of the painting. And remember, these were all given to me by the Gannam family because they like the main man. These are things like this would actually cost, oh God, up to $5 grand right here because they like the dude. You know, me being a Boy Scout, they gave them to me for dick because no one's going to appreciate these things more than the main man, the humble dude himself. Now look at that. There's a lot of opaque paint here. There's a lot of transparent. This guy would do anything he needed to get his point across. Here he actually scraped with a razor blade here. That's something. To get his whites, he would scrape it. See all the texture right here? That's all scraping. Scraping down here, scraping right here. Scrape, scrape, a little scrape. Everywhere, scrape, scrape. This is where you went in with opaque paint right here. he would take it as far as he could with transparent, and then and then when he needed to fix things right here, he would go into an area like this and do this kind of stuff. This is all watercolor with white mixed in. That's what gouache is. It's watercolor with white mixed into it. The British call it body color, so it has, which means it has a little bit more of a what's the word for it? Not a texture, but anyway, you guys fill in the word right here, okay? It's got more clarity than watercolor to have a stroke like this on. Anyway, so this is what John Gannon would spend probably basically his whole life. Now he lived. John Gannon was born in 1906, I think, and I think he died in 1965. Not a very long life, but he smoked a lot and he was crazy. So, isn't that great? Yeah, that is really cool. He's even got the tan line going on down there. That's pure white that he just kind of smushed around. But isn't that something? It looks totally real from back here. And that, my friends, is the secret of what I'm trying to learn in life right here. Look, there's another little guy over here that he never quite filled in. But the gist of it is all there. Okay, so no charge for that. Flowhard. The thing that Flowhard does, she always sticks one of her feet back like that. Here, this one comes up and this one goes back, okay? She's always lying like that. Right, Chloe? Wag your tail if you agree. Flowhard. Let's get back to Gwen Stacy right here. And because you guys are going to want to see as much as we can get into, we've got a lot of these pencil lines going on here. And at this point, we don't need them anymore. So what do we do if we don't need something? We get rid of it. Everyone at once. Together. We get rid of it. I think that was a line in Nexus. Yeah, it was. Lonnie got a little kitten dick, and she said, her sister said, get rid of it. Pencil lines, pencil lines. Is this dry yet? Do we really want to be dumb here and mess it up? I can tell from on here. Look at all this pencil lines down there. I kept screwing up on the posture, and then I would change it and change it and change it. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And then, what happens then? Okay, so we got this swimsuit under. Let's do the swimsuit. This is going to be, if it's a white swimsuit, it's going to be basically a gray color. So to do that, yeah, okay, so it's like this right here. Remember I told you guys we need to keep this very light. Man, this stuff gets, watercolor is supposed to dry lighter, but in fact, it does. But there's some things about it that are just outrageous. Like this should dry really light, but it's not. Don't ask me why. What did we lose? My palette, okay. Well, how do you like that? See why you hate machines right there? It ran out of battery. Come on, people. Gwen is, in spite of her gorgeousness, she is a little modest here, so we're gonna make sure she's covered up just about right. See the blending strokes right there? Yes, you do. This is going to be literally just water right here, but it's still going to be. See, I need a little bit more, a little bit darker right there. So I can grab any of these colors and dull it down a little bit. I prefer kind of a purple, so let's grab this right here, test it out a little bit. I love these little things right there, these little touches. This is going to be, what do you call those things, Mr. Producer? Little ties that girls always do. It's a tie, okay. For first place? Very good, okay. As I mentioned, we have a lot of extremely high intellectual quotient in the Rude Dude camaraderies, or the, what do you call it? What's that word? I don't know, but I just know they're above normal smart, okay? We have the palette back. Let's hear it for the palette. I'm almost positive that some of these things right here are going to have to be gone in with opaque paint. Now here's something you guys that are really into subtlety are going to like right here. No matter how skinny a girl is, they've always got is that going to work? They've got that little bit of indentation going on there where it goes in because this thing is tightening around their body a little bit. So we've got that little bit of a fold going on here. We definitely want to, am I losing my mind? Am I losing my mind yet? Okay, so a little bit of indentation. It kind of goes like this. From the side view, it's like this. Okay, and then there's the suit that's pinching things a little bit. There's Flowhard's favorite sleeping spot over there. Now this is, I think that, remember I told you that I always copy great artists that I happen to really like. People like John Gannum and all that stuff. And this is one of the things I learned from them right here. And 35 years of observation on my own. Now I've got this shadow going on, right? But there's more to it than just that. There's going to be light escaping from around the front area, and it's going to get really intense.
Someone wants to know, do you like to do sculpture?
Yes, good question. Does Steve Rude like to do sculpture? I tried it once, I was bored out of my mind, and never did it again. So there you go. Okay, so we've got this very strong, we want to use the big brush here for this, I think. Do we want to go 1 inch, or, let's just go 1 inch right here, okay? How do we knock this down a little bit right here? It's got to be, we got to knock it down in intensity. How's that? So let's see here. What do we got going on here? You too can become members of the 1 inch brush club. And I think I told you how to do it. You just need to own a 1 inch brush. See, we make things really simple around here. There's no need for memberships or fan clubs or decoder rings. We've got it all together right here. And this part right here, I think the light part is going to come in around there. See, when you're working on a painting this big right here, it's easy to use big brushes. And regardless of what I'm always harping on people about, when I go to conventions, what do I see? Puny brushes. I wonder how many centuries it's going to take for me to unbrainwash these people right here. Here's the size that I use for inking right here. What is this? Number 12, okay. See the point? Comes to a perfect point, the same point that a 0 or a 1, 2, or 3 come to. And it can hold a lot more ink. Unbrainwash yourself, people, and get with the 1 inch or the big inking brush club here. Now you see this area right here? That's all blue already, or dark, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to have to do some kind of remote surgery here. Now remember, I'm going into a wet area, so we're going to get a little bit of, let's knock that up a little bit right here. In color, it's getting a little too dull for me, so there's a reflected light coming into here. It's probably coming from the floor or the ground or whatever. And so up here, we're going to get I want to make sure it's not too dark because I'm always going too dark with this stuff. Okay. Well, before he has a chance to set in, which it will do very fast, I can just tell. I need to get rid of that hard line right there. But you can see the way the light's coming from right here. This is not a hard edge. This is a soft edge. We know that because we have studied for the last 5 billion years to learn these things. Now that it's wet, we can go in and make our little modifications. No, I don't want that to get too dark, okay? We are definitely in the non-dark club for this demonstration. We're wrapping this thing up here. I'm actually astounded at how fast this has gone. You know, I think I want to put some yellow in there. Yellow. That was Mr. Silly's favorite color. Yellow. When he was a baby. I still call him baby. A little bit ultramarine, a little bit of alizarin, and we're going to do the bosom area, the area that most of you have been waiting for. One thing I'm always confused about is, you know, I draw these really innocuous things. There's nothing gross or silly about it, and yet I have the least amount of female fans probably in the entire business. Now, why is that? It's actually bugged me for years. How many years? Well, what am I, 64 now? Okay, there you go. Take your clue from that. This is actually very hard edge right here, this shadow. Now, if you went around from a different point of view, bizarrely, it would actually be much softer. I learned that got back in 89. Yeah, 89, I think. See, we have something of a good memory here, but of course, it's all long term. Short term, forget it.
Someone says, this is looking great. Couldn't help myself and started drawing an art. Steve did a crystal versus a Hulk while watching this.
Someone did a drawing of the Hulk while they watched me do this?
They were copying a sketch you did of crystal versus the Hulk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the fun never ends here at the Root Abode. Oh, okay, so we're actually switching to a different red right here. This is the normal red with blue. That makes it less intense. Oh, let's see. Oh, she's getting pretty dark there, but not dark enough. Let's go back in here and now that's the other thing about watercolor. Because it dries light, thank God, and not like that stupid gouache that dries really dark. We have some playroom here for being forgiven for our transgressions here. Here's the orange coming in there, and that's a little too dark. That doesn't look like reflected light to me. So we're gonna do our wipers. Okay. That's all. That's the only way I know how to do this besides adding opaque paint is to wipe that area right there. Don't be afraid to really dive in here and pick up plenty of paint, okay? Because we are artists, and to hold back when we need a nice big stroke of color is to really mess us up. We don't want to do that. a lot of little modifications going on here. So what do we have here for this? The paint is still wet, so we can do some nice blends going on here. Should I start my own show? Bob Ross is dead, right? Okay. Just wanted to know. I want to know if there's any friends out there watching this. But I just realized I don't have any friends. But let me know anyway if you want to be one, okay? So we have this nice, I'm still going darker on here. Darker, darker, gone. Yeah, for some reason I want to kick that into shape right there. So, I want to tell you something before we get cut off right here and we go into non-film land. There's something about Gwen's eyes that just aren't quite right.
Just noticed the AC box in the corner, but would be great to see some of Rue's casein paintings one day.
Well, we got some really eagle-eyed guys out there, I tell you. These fans, I tell you, you can't put anything past them. Where's my skinny brush? Okay, here's my skinny brush. Gwen Stacy needs, she needs upper lids, okay?
Someone says we are your friends.
Huh. Can you see me smiling? Where would you be without your friends? I used to have so many friends. Back in college. If there's ever a time when you want friends, make it college. So Gwen is squinting here. Now I'm going to turn it up like that and see if I didn't ruin it. These dark areas like these folds in the face, eyes, whatever. The thing you're going to hear from everybody in this brother, assuming they have one, is they want you to make them very warm. They want you to make things like these little crevices like that warm, not cold. Anyway, that's what they say. It was one thing we don't do here at Rude. We don't just take people's word for something without investigating ourselves. So put your Sherlock deer hunter hat on and think it over very carefully before you say, oh yeah, I agree with them. We have a really skinny brush right here.
Someone said are those Loomis heads on your drawing board.
Yeah, boy, you guys are smart. Those are Loomis heads. Because, believe it or not, I need all the help I can get. I put some lines on. Oh, you know what? I need to put the little squint things that she's got going on here. Now this has to be very, very light. Okay, so here we go. I can see where the light's coming from on her face. So we do our little wipe job there. You guys are asking a lot of good questions right here, which is great. Eventually we're going to take all the questions that we've got in the last 5 years and assemble them into a single book. It's called Questions for the Dude.
Someone says, hi Steve, I had the opportunity to meet you at Spectrum a while back in Kansas City. Really enjoyed your demo in chalk.
Yeah, that's good. I did not like that Spectrum convention. One thing I found out about the ever disintegrating course of humanity here is people are just not very friendly at these things. I was surrounded by a lot of pros, and basically they were all a bunch of snobs. So what I try to do is do the anti-snob thing, which is there was a whole nother room at this Spectrum convention in Kansas City that was stocked by nothing but wannabes. These are the 16-year-olds, the 20-year-olds, and they're all kind of thrown in this back room. and nobody goes to see him. Well, that's not the way the dude does things in life. So I very quickly went back there and just started talking with all these people that really wanted attention. And it really paid off, and they appreciated it, of course. Who wouldn't? And I hopefully made a little bit of a difference in the world to make up for all the people that never think of doing those kind of things. Yeah, I see I'm going to have to do some corrective surgery here. How I'm going to do that, you'll just have to stay tuned, guys. Gwen's eyebrows, you know, she is blonde, so they're going to be light. And it's amazing how light you can make these things and still have them read. There's a lot of artists I know that really subdue them a lot. Where's my brush that gets rid of stuff? So we're gonna let's try to really rub some of this out right here. Let's rub out the whole thing. How's that? Be brave, guys. Pretend you're at the Alamo and you're about to die. You have no choice but to be brave. So I hope you guys enjoyed some of the things I was showing there.
Like I said, we appreciate all you do, Steve.
Yeah, how nice. Very nice. There's got to be a Boy Scout out there somewhere. If you're not going to be it, I guess I've been appointed. By the way, this is this is part of my personality, this on-air kind of guy. I tell you, I didn't know about that part of me until I got in front of a microphone, and then all hell broke loose. And you never want to be boring, like all these other people are on YouTube. The only sin in life is to bore people. So you just absolutely don't want to do that. Let's reinforce her mascara a little bit. All you Gwen Stacy fans know that she was heavily mascaraed. The more you squint her eyes, the more. Well, there's a lot of ways to smile. You can have your eyes wide open, or you can do this right here. These muscles push up on the face, and they make the lower lid rise up. So when you have a really squinty kind of a smile like that, that's where that comes from. It's all based on the muscles of the face. You really want to know these things, guys. Let me put it this way: to not know things is to be handicapped for the rest of your life. And as Loomis would say, the pain of having to learn it and the time it takes to learn it is a lot less painful than never knowing it. So
Someone says would love a questions for the new book, and that's kind of what you do with your stuff in the back of your strips.
oh yeah, that's right. That's another thing that I'm really proud of. I'm glad you brought that up. We had Gormando, the book that we have out right now, the 300-page gigantic book to get you weightlifting again. I brought back letter pages. Do you miss those things like I do? Yeah, I know you did.
Someone else says you are a fantastic teacher.
That's great. That's great to hear. COVID. The thing I learned about, I don't know where I picked this up, but you don't want to be boring in life. There's enough boring people out there, so that one more is really not needed. So I try not to be boring, and that's anywhere I go. Of course, sometimes I get arrested for it, but you know how this world works nowadays. It's a loony bin. Let's get the eye. Oh, geez, we're right into some wet paint right here. See, I knew that would happen. it's not a rude painting until I dip my hand in something there. Do we want to go the this route right here? You know, the little lashes kind of a thing. Well, they do have them. It might look good. Who knows? Yeah, okay. All right, I approve. I asked myself. Yeah, I approve. How did that line go last night, Mr. Producer? You remember how that went? Yeah, no one deserves it more than me. I asked myself, and I agree. Longtime Alice Cooper's fans will recognize part of that line from the great Alice. You know, Alice lives right here in, in Phoenix, and I've never been able to meet him. Oh, sure, I get all these guys telling me, oh, I know Alice Cooper. I'll introduce you to him. But it hasn't happened yet. There's a real problem with this world when you can't meet Alice Cooper and everyone says they know him. Where are we here? Let's get the let's go back to the 1-inch brush club here. How are we doing with time, Mr. Producer?
It's 1:59.
Oh my God! Do you know what that means, guys? What does that mean? Somebody tell me. It means that it's almost time to wrap it up, and I can go back to my normal life and get a root beer. Oh, you're still invited to the barbecue? I don't want to forget to mention that, okay? Very few pros are smart enough to invite their fans, to whom they owe everything, out for a barbecue. I, however, not being a traditionalist, am inviting all of you to come over within the next 5-10 minutes. Now, I know you guys at Iceland are going to have a problem with that.
Yeah, someone says your versions of Gwen and MJ are the best.
Well, it helps if you know how to draw females. I think that's maybe the trick. But I got to tell you guys, you know, I wasn't kidding when I said I could probably draw some things better when I was 25. How is that possible? How can you go many more years? I mean, 25 to 64. Okay, that's a lot of years of study. And why is it I could do better sometimes at 25 with all the studying I've done since then? I just don't get it. Somebody explain it to me. Do we have an answer man out there? If you're an answer man, you just let me know. So I believe it is time to wrap it up. I'm really glad you guys tuned in right here. Look for the heavily edited version of YouTube that is going to be sped up 10 times. And
Time flies. I could watch you work for the rest of the day, but everything must come to an end.
not necessarily. For those of you guys that pay me, for the guy that pays me $25,000 right now, I will go on for another 10 minutes. Is that $1,000 a minute? Okay, so that's how far we got with Gwen. Look for the posting to go online when it is finished, and hopefully I'll explain a little more about how I bailed myself out of certain areas that not working very well. So again, thank you for tuning in, you guys. I have the best fans in the world. Keep the faith, into the light, and ever upwards. Ciao, and cheers.